Folks, we welcome Syracuse to the main stage. We'll spend about 10 or 12 minutes with the Orange. We do have microphones floating throughout, so if you would, please identify yourselves and the media outlet that you are with, and we will get started. Who would like the first question for Syracuse? Let's go front row to the right.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, just what you could say about Elijah. Obviously, this will be his second season on the floor, but third season with the team. Just what he's done leadership-wise and how he's grown in the program to lead it for you now.
Well, I think the thing with Elijah last year, he really was about our fourth option offensively as our second leading scorer, which tells a lot about what his ability is to score. I think he's improved over the summer. I think he's worked really hard. The trip helped him and helped our whole team. His role is different this year. He'll have the ball more. And he's taken a real active role in leadership with our younger guys. I think we're a little bit deceptive in that we have three juniors with Elijah and Marek and Barama who have played a lot. And I think their leadership is going to be very important for this team. I think we have a lot of good young guys who are probably a little bit underrated, a little bit under the radar. And I think they're more ready to help this year than I think most people would think.
Let's go to our left in the second row.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com. Wanted to ask you about your defense, Coach. Last year you were very high in the league in all the key defensive statistical categories: blocked shots, turnovers forced, field goal defense. A couple of the guys that helped build those numbers, have moved on. Can this defense be as good?
Well, I think offensively, I'll get to your question, but I think offensively we have a chance to be a much better team, a much quicker up the court team. I think our defense is going to need improvement. I think the veteran guys were really good in our defense. I think Tyus and Frank were really, really good defensive guards. I think that Elijah, did a great job in his first year defense, and we have Pascal. So I think we're a little bit different defensively. I think our offense has a chance to be better than people might expect it to be because we're a much better shooting team. We've been 13th, 14th in the league in three-point shooting for about as long as I can remember. And I think we're a much, much better three-point shooting team. But our defense is going to have to be something that gets better. We think we can get better defensively. We think we can do a few more things defensively. But obviously, when you're a pretty good, solid defensive team, you're not really thinking as a coach about changing to other defenses. But certainly, we will look at what other things we can do on the defensive end.
Let's go back to Dan in the first row to the right.
It's for Elijah and Marek. Just what you can say about that Italy trip, what it did for you as a team, how it built your bonds and made you stronger going into this season.
It was really fun. Number one, first and foremost, it was a lot of fun. My first time out the country, overseas. So, it really brought us together because, one, we all we got out there. We only went with each other, so we all really we got. And, it really brought us together. We went out and did things as a team, sightseeing-wise, going to get food and stuff like that. And then we played, obviously, together. So it really brought us together. It was a lot of fun.
I couldn't play, but I think the trip really helped us, like the team. We have 5 new guys. I tried to help the new guys, talk to them on the bench, but team-wise, I think it helped us a lot.
First row to our right, gentleman in the blue shirt.
Thank you, Matthew Gutierrez with The Athletic. Jim, just wanted your thought on the three-point line being out a little bit, and if you foresee that impacting the zone at all a little bit defensively.
Well, it doesn't impact our zone because we play the shooter. We've always played where the shooters are, and most shooters are out behind the line. The really good shooters that you have to stop some of them don't even get near the line. So it's you play where the shooters are, and that doesn't change. As far as shooting the ball from the three, the guys that can shoot it, it's no different. The guys that can shoot out there, the difference in the distance doesn't matter. It's not important, not relevant. I don't think it'll change the number of three-point shooting at all.
Folks, let's look to the far left on the first row.
Frank Maloney, Who's Talking, 910 The Fan. Coach, I was fascinated by the personalities last year of Battle and Howard. Such interesting guys, strong personalities. Who's going to take that role in terms of working with the younger players in the team?
You know, I think we have guys with very strong personalities. They're quiet in some ways, but I think they have a strong impact on our team. And I think that with Tyus and Frank, they were quiet guys too. They said very little. And so I don't think there's any change there. But I do think that these two guys are junior, even though they're quiet. I think they talk to the players, the younger players, and there's a clear differential between their experience and the younger players on the team. So I think there's a acceptance from the younger players to listen to what these guys are talking about. And in the backcourt, where obviously the most youth is, Jalen and Buddy both played last year. They both had pretty important minutes on the court. So I think that will help them. I think the two freshmen, Joe Girard, Bryson Godin, are very good players, and I think it just depends how long it takes them to get used to the game. They were both good on this trip this summer. They were confident. They played with a lot of confidence for freshmen, but I think the leadership that we get from these two guys will be important for this team.
Back to your right on the second row.
Mike Waters, Syracuse Post-Standard. Jim, what kind of impact is the 20-game schedule going to have? And specifically, how do you feel about a conference season opener against Virginia?
I mean, you have to be ready right away, but you want your team to be ready right away anyway. And some years you open up in a tournament. We've done that in the past where you're playing right away against good teams. So, it makes you focus and make sure you're ready. We try to get ready anyway, and the trip this summer certainly helped. We have that extra time. But, the 20 games, that's what it is. It's more or less been proven over time that when you talk to people that are experts in what you need to do to get in the NCAA tournament, that the more conference games you play doesn't really help your league get in more teams because you'll have more losses. But, we'll see how it all plays out. But it's certainly it's a challenging schedule, and you have to be ready right away. But you want to be ready right away every year anyway.
Back to the right, first row with Dan.
This is for each of you, just what you can say. And Coach, you touched on it a little bit. The new faces coming in, and like you said, being underrated somewhat, just getting out there and getting some experience in the scrimmages, what that's done for the team, and for both of you guys, what that's done as far as building up your teammates and the quality of the team.
I think we have a really good young group. Joe, Bryson, really good guards. They know how to play. Joe, unlimited range. He can shoot a three. He's a really good scorer. Bryce is a really good athlete. And Quincy, really strong guy, is really similar like O'Shea. He'll help us a lot. He's strong. He can shoot. He can go to the basket. And our two centers, they're great young guys, and they just need a little bit of time, and they will get used to it, to the zone, to the offense, to the defense, But I think they will be really good for us.
Coming in anywhere as a freshman is kind of difficult, especially, coming to our zone and stuff like that. But, they're all special, real special, talented group. They all each bring something different, unique to the table. And I'm just really excited to get going with them and everyone else that we have and have a good season.
I think if you look at the ratings of guys we've had in the past, like O'Shea Brissett was 120 something. Some guys just don't get rated because where they play or where they're from. This group is a much, much better class than their ratings would indicate, and I think they'll prove that on the court.
Syracuse, thank you. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Folks, Florida State is